To those who just walked in, when I heard the FIRES topic, there was a management consultant or a famous management guru who had summed up the entire FIRES in one single statement: a place for everything and everything in its place. As simple as that. Also, as a joke, Mr. Arvind was talking about the fight over the closet. The famous joke which says the wife and husband get into an argument. Obviously, it's about the wardrobe. And the wife comes and tells the husband, I don't have enough dresses and I don't have enough place to keep what I have. We all know what it means. It's a paradox. Anyway, what is the need for learning? It's one of the questions I'm going to ask myself and ask all of you also. Why do we need to learn? What is the purpose? Whether you are an individual or you are part of the corporate watching through the web, what is the need for us to learn? Should we learn at all? If you have to learn, what is the need and how do we learn? If you really look at the corporate side, let me just go to the board. All organizations, as part of the growth strategy, have to keep growing. Growth typically in corporate parlance means an increase in top line or bottom line. All these normally gets converted as goals. These goals which are at the corporate level then get sort of divided down to the respective departments and then to the respective teams, the team leads, the project heads or whatever, and finally becomes your KRA, whatever, and finally that's what you are supposed to achieve for you to get a good rating and for you to move up the organizational ladder. These goals also necessitate something as part of the organization. The organization is forced to go through a restructuring process on a continuous basis. What I was last year, what I was 2 years back, what I was 3 years back as an organization, the organizational structure that I had, the kind of people that were heading the show are no more valid because my goals have changed. My goalpost is changing. I've added a few new products and services. I've added a new products and services which need separate groups to handle that, and we find there is an influx of people who are walking into the organization. They have to be fitted. And then you form new teams, new projects, new team leads who get part of that. What is continuously happening is that the structure of the organization is changing. What is imminent in this is that today you have a specific role in a specific department, and then tomorrow you find that you have been shunted out to another department or another project. This also means that your role is constantly changing. The role that I had last year is not the role that I have 6 months back, is not the role I have today, will not be the role I have 3 months or 6 months from now. Which also means that my goals have changed. When my goals have changed, the education or the knowledge or the skill set that I was speaking about yesterday, which is essential for you to reach your goals, are no more relevant. Since the goals have changed, what typically happens is the skill sets with which I came into the organization to achieve a given goal for which I was hired is no more valid. It has now changed. It's like one of the famous quotes that Bill Gates made in his book. He says organizational change is something like this. You go into a swimming pool, you have depth of 3 feet, you have depth of 18 feet, and there is a diving board. In a normal swimming pool, the depth is measurable, predictable. You know exactly where the deepest part is. You take the board and jump. Bill Gates says that organizations don't work like a normal swimming pool. Imagine a swimming pool in which you get in and then come out. And before you jump again, the depths have been altered completely. and you don't know, it is not transparent, you can't see the depths. And yet, the next time when you dive from a diving board, you have to dive in the right place without crashing in a 3-foot place. Because now the 3 feet, which was 3 feet, would have become 12. What was 12 would have become 18. What was 18 would have become 3. Hence, you don't know where you are jumping. He said organizational change is such that you need to be ready to jump into the pool every time as if the depths have been altered and you have no idea where you are jumping in. This is exactly what happens. As a student, it's a reasonably comfortable journey. 3 years, your journey in the organization of SRM University is predictable. The semesters, the studies, the papers you are going to study, all are available to you. It's sort of a predictable model. In a real organization, even in personal life, this is not predictable. Let's take the personal life for example. Like an organization, there is a person or an individual. The way the organization have goals, the individuals have something called as needs. The needs that I have last year is no more valid. Last year I wanted to buy a two-wheeler. This year I want to buy a high-end phone. Next year I want to go on a holiday. The year after I want to buy some jewelry. The year after I want to buy a large asset. Every year, not only my needs, the composition of my family who are dependent on the income that I bring to the table, their needs are also continuously changing. Which means the structure there becomes my personality here. The personality which I have 3 months back, 6 months back, 1 year back is not valid anymore. If I need to reach my new goals, I must be ready to become the new personality I must to bridge the gap between what I am today to what I have to become. This is the need for continuous learning. This also gives you a very key point that we have been insisting throughout the session from yesterday till now. Without a goal, life literally becomes meaningless. Without a purpose, your existence becomes meaningless. If I have to just float around and pick up whatever knowledge I have to get, which is not aligned with the goal that I have. For example, if you had been clear in the year 1, or you can make yourself clear right today, what am I going to get into at the end of 3rd year MBA? Which company, which organization, which department, which seat, where am I going to sit, what kind of work am I going to produce, what kind of results am I going to bring to the table? If I have